It's time to continue with the Post Apocalyptic Classroom, and in this video I'm going to do what I can to texture the walls. So you can see that I've got the three main walls here, and I've left this one off because I think this one is going to be a copy of that one. We're never going to see both of those walls at the same time. Alright, so I've got the door wall, I've got the front wall, and I've got the window wall. And I've taken down the blind for now, and I've put in some glass in some of these. I have it like that. I've left this open. I might close that in the end, and I've still got these broken ones, and so this is going to be more of a demonstration than the absolute final thing. Alright, I've also gone ahead and I've unwrapped these, and it was a very laborious process because I used simply Cube Project on the walls and Smart UV Project on the windows, and just regular unwrap on these, and it's working fine. And so yeah, it's not very exciting or anything. There's no seams, there's no magic involved. I just wanted to see how well it would work with really simple processes, and it seems to be working okay. So what I've got going on is over here in Substance Painter, I brought it all in, and I've baked the mesh maps and had a quick look at it. I think it looks okay. And I'm going to turn on anti-aliasing to make it look a little bit better. And we're going to get started. We're going to use kind of the same texture on all of these walls, except for the windows. They're going to have that wood, which we've already got a smart material from, and a glass smart material as well. So I'll start on this wall here, the wall door. I'll get rid of that. And it is going to be a little bit specific here. So just bear with me as I enter numbers. I'll only have to do it the one time, and then we'll have it. All right, so I'm looking over my clipboard over here, and I'm just going to start doing this. So I want this. I want 331, 273, and 273. And over here, it's going to be 0, 175, 331. That's okay. All right. So this is going to be paint 1. Now, right off the bat, I'm going to create another layer, fill layer. I'm going to drag it down, and I'm going to alt-click roughness and just set that all the way up so that there won't be any roughness on this, or the roughness will be very high. All right, so I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to duplicate that layer, and I'm going to call this paint 2, and I'm going to come in here, and I have some other values to do. We'll have about 6-7 layers to do for this. Okay, so this next one is going to be 466, 334, 354. Something. Let's try this stuff first and see if that gives me what I want. I want this at 0 and 176 and 466. I believe that. Let me just double check that. Yeah, there's a slight difference between them. Okay. I'm going to take both of those and Control G to put them in a folder. And I'm going to use caps, and I'm going to call this paint. I'm going to leave it like that for now, and I'm going to move on, create another fill. I'm going to drag it below and turn that off. And this is going to be grunge 1. I want just color only, and I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to use 138. 121 and 092, and for HSV I'm going to use 105, 332, and 138. That's fine there. Okay, so there's grunge 1. I'm going to duplicate that, do the same thing, grunge 2, and this one is going to be 323 283 and 216 216. So we get another shade of brown, and this is going to be 105. Yeah, 331 323. Yeah, that's good enough there. Okay, so we got a light and a dark grunge there. Okay, select them both, Control G to put them in a folder. Call this grunge. Close that up and hide that. We're going to make one more fill layer. Well, we'll start with one more. There's going to be 3 of these. This is going to be Dirt 1, color only, and this is going to be 275. Hopefully all this will pay off. 275, 220, and 120. Okay, and then HSV, we're going to have 107. Okay, 107, 5642. Okay, that's okay right there. So we got that one there. I'm going to duplicate that one and call this Dirt 2. Almost done these. Okay, Dirt 2 is going to be 178. $109 and 060, and I think the HSVs I can leave the same. I think that's fine. That's Dirt 2. I am going to do one more, however, and that's going to be Dirt 3, and that is going to be it for these layers. Okay, so this one's going to be 062. 043 and 024. All right, and I can leave these as they are. Okay, take all of these, Control G. They're going to go in a folder called Dirt, and that's good. Now the only thing is, this one here, I'm going to switch the blending mode from normal to multiply. And we'll see that allows all the other ones to come through. Like if I change this, you can see a change happening. A small change. All right, so I'm just going to leave those for now, however. And I'm going to come back. I'm going to turn these on, and we're going to start. Now, let me just think for a second. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to... maybe I'll make this and make a smart material, or I might copy them all. Okay, this one I can just call roughness, and that'll affect the roughness for the whole thing. All right, so let's come in here. There definitely is work I need to do. So I got Paint 2 and Paint 1. I'm going to add a black mask on here with a fill. And in the grayscale, I'm going to come over to my procedurals, and I'm going to type in BNW. And I want black and white spots 3. I'm going to drag those in, and you can start to see this effect on here. And then I'm just going to modify these a little bit, and I'm going to put the balance here at where's the balance? Okay, I'm going to leave the balance at 0.5. The contrast is just going to go up a little bit, so 0.04. And in the noise parameters, I'm going to use a disorder of 0.5 just to shake things up a little bit, and yeah, that's okay. And that's all I want to do. Okay, so I put a black mask on there, and we now have this. All right, now let's just hide that. We'll come over to the grunge, and I'm going to add a black mask and a fill, and in the grayscale of that fill, I'm going to add clouds 2. So let's start typing clouds 2. There it is. That's a different effect that we had than on the paint. And for the balance, I'm going to use, say, 0.4 maybe. And the contrast, I'll leave it 0. and I'll come into the noise, and I'm going to use a scale of 4 and a disorder of 0.17. Okay, that's okay there. That's the grunge there. And I'm going to come over to the dirt, and I already made that on multiply. I'm just going to just hide that for a moment. Come down to dirt 2, which is over dirt 1. All right. And I'm going to add a black mask to that one. We'll leave the third layer, in other words, for now. I'm going to add a fill. And here I'm going to use grunge folds. This one here. Drag that in. And something is there. So now we can see it. I just unchecked the grunge so it's not hiding this. So you can see what that does there. And let's have a look at the parameters. Let's change this to 0.6. We'll leave the contrast, and that's good enough for that one. All right, I'm going to bring in the other dirt, and so you can just barely see the other one below. If I uncheck that, all right, so that's what the multiply does. And on this layer, I'm going to add a black mask as well, and a fill. And here I want to use grunge dirt muddy. All right, grunge dirt muddy. I'm going to drag that in. And what that should do is you can see these black dots here, black little speckles. That's all there is. All right, so I'm going to come over to this one, and I'm going to set the balance for this one at 0.65. So now they're a little bit more noticeable, and I'll leave the contrast. And that is it for that stuff. All right, close it all back up. All right, so we got the masks in there. So now comes the fun part. It's time to start painting on this. So I'm going to come up to the paint, and I'm going to add a white mask this time. And I'm going to come to my brushes, choose Dirt 1 brush. I'll leave the flow up, and I'll leave the size. And I'm just going to create some areas. So as I do this, the other layers below start to come through as I paint. All right, so I'm going to paint some areas here. And then I can here, let's just go full screen. I can press X to go to white, and I can erase some of that. Press X, so I want the black. X to erase. All right, so I'm going to do something like that. I might come down along the bottom here and give a little bit of that kind of dirt stuff there and erase some of it. Let me go back out, and I'm going to come back. Let's try a basic soft brush here. Okay, getting rid of it. X. Put a little bit more in here. And all right. Let's go with Let me come back actually to my dirt brush. Okay, now that was my white mask, and you can see the stuff that I've painted on there. I will need to do that on all of these walls, and I may not show all of it. I may skip this one and do the window wall. I'm going to come to my grunge layer, add a white mask there. And then I'm going to start going around here, and that's adding that dirt in there. And I can press X and I can get rid of it. Okay, so this is the effect that I end up getting here. Okay, so what have we got? Well, I've got all my layers showing through. I'm going to come back to the paint, to the top paint one here, all right? And I'm going to add height. And the height I'm going to choose, I'm going to try we'll go 0.35. And then we'll come over here and have a look. And you can see what that's doing. At this point, I may come back in here on the white mask and paint out some of this extra noise here and there, if it looks a little odd to me. You know, because I want these to be like, you know, depressions in the wall, and I want some of that stuff spreading out and whatever. And, you know, not being the greatest artist, this may take some time to do it and do it again. Something like that. So I've got some height in there. You can up that if you want. Something like that. Now I can put more dirt down here, and I can put some drips or leaks or something, and I may do that later, but I'm not going to do that in this video. I'm also going to add, on top of this, I'm going to put some bricks in there in a moment, but I'm going to add a fill layer. I'm going to use just color. I'm going to leave it at white for sort of a dusty kind of thing. I'll add a black mask and a fill. And in here, I'll come over to my procedurals, and I'm going to search for grunge dirt scratchy. This one here, grunge dirt scratchy. I'm going to drop that in. And that puts some of these white scratches and white, I don't know what I can call it, splotches around. Now, I'm going to up the resolution. And by the way, I didn't talk about this. I have set this up as materials in Blender. So this is wall door. It got its own UV. Wall front is there, and wall window is over here. So each of these will have this texture on it. And then there are the windows themselves, basically the window frames, and then there's some window glass. Each of these can have their size or sort of resolution adjusted independently. So I'm going to bring that up to 2K. All right, and this is what I'm getting. Now I can take this and I can reduce that a little bit. All right, if I want, to do that. So I'm just going to leave that there. And that is what I have so far. All right, so I'm just going to call this, how about top grunge? Okay. I'm going to come down to here. I want another material. And I want to use bricks. And I'm going to come to my smart materials. I'll try smart. Bricks not there. Okay, I'll come to my regular materials. Bricks. Now, you can put whatever bricks you want in here if you want any bricks. And I'm actually, I've experimented with a few of them, and I'm going to use this brick wall here. I'm going to drop that in there. And I'm going to switch, we'll try triplanar. and change the scale. Let's try about 5. Let's see how. No, that's a little bit too small. Let's go with 3. And that's all I'm going to do for the moment on these bricks. I'm going to add a black mask, and with my dirt brush, I'm going to start painting in some bricks in these dirty areas, as if the wall has, been, peeled away, kind of, and some bricks are showing. And you can take as much time as you want on these. You don't have to do it for every single one. But let's hit an F. That's basically the effect that I'm going to go for. I can come back to my paint layer, maybe with a smooth brush, and do a little bit of cleanup if I need to. Just to get rid of some of that excess. All right, hopefully under the right lighting conditions and with a bit more dirt and stuff on this will look okay. Now, I'm going to take these bricks. There's not a lot of parameters that I can change. And I did do some searching for good brick smart materials. And to be honest, I wasn't finding exactly what I wanted. And so what I'm going to do here is on the bricks themselves, I'm going to add a filter, and I'm going to choose HSL. And I'm just going to drop the saturation on those and drop the lightness on there. And maybe a little bit more. And that's the effect that I am going to go for. Those are the bricks I'm going to use. I may just change my mind about saturation, but that's what I'm getting. All right, so I've got all of these right here. Okay, now I want to get this effect on here as well. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to select all of these and Control G to put them all in the folder. And I'm going to call this Classroom. Now let's call this Wall Class. Just Wall Class is good enough. I'm going to right click, create a smart material. And I have Wall Class here. Let's now come to the wall front, delete that layer, drag the smart material in, and I have only this so far. I need to repaint this, so I'm going to clear this mask, and actually clear the brick wall mask for where I want that. In fact, I'll hide that, and I'll come back to this where I painted, and I'll go to my... Now keep in mind there's going to be furniture in front of this, all right, so it's not all going to be as stark as this. I'm going to choose my dirt brush. This is the front of the room. There's going to be a chalkboard and all. So I'm going to start doing some of this stuff again. And let's see. All right. Let's just do that. Okay, let's do that. And actually, let's make some change to this a little bit. Okay, let's come to the grunge now, the dirt. And add some of that in. And this will all be very much impacted, by the lighting. Okay. And let's come back to here. Clean it up. Okay, let's say we were satisfied with that. Let's try adding in our bricks over here. Maybe a few at the bottom. I don't know about that. Okay. Come back to here. And let's use a some of that. Okay, something like that. So we've got the same kind of effect on both of those walls. And let's just play around with this last wall here as well. Over here. But before I do, I think I'll switch that one to 2K as well. That's this one here, and now we're over here on this wall window. All right, let's come to our smart materials, and what did I call this? Wall class or something? Okay, we'll drop that in there. And before we go any further, let's just leave. We'll come back to that in a sec. Let's come to the window itself. And this one was something like wood PAC, I believe. Wood for, yeah, there it is, wood PAC. So let's drop that in there. There's the wood. And that's looking okay, I think, for what we're doing. So let's leave that and let's go over to the glass because that's pretty easy as well. Smart materials, glass. I'm going to use this glass dirty and drag it in. And without changing the shader, to use alpha blending or opacity, I can get this so that you can't see through them. And I think I may just do that. So I've just got some holes and I've got some filled in. And I could do some more cuts if I wanted to. I could use transparency and Substance Painter to dissolve some of these in spots. But we'll just leave it like that for now and maybe for good. So let's go back to wall window that has this on here. And we are going to clear the mask for the bricks, hide that. I'm going to clear this mask, clear this mask, come back to the paint, and back to our dirt brush. And let's work on this. Okay, let's go and bring that up. And this area is going to be beat up, because it's close to the outside. So I'm just going to do a little bit more, and I can always change my mind and come back and do a better job if I want to. Let's do that. Maybe. Yeah, okay. All right. Now I'm going to come over to the grunge and add in some of that dirt. Okay. Come back here and clean it up if necessary. All right. Just to this and that, Nah, I don't. Okay. I'm going to come back to the paint layer and just add a little bit of this and that here. All right, let's bring everything else back. You know, you can spend as much time and be a much better artist than I am on doing this. Now, I don't have, I see, or I do. Let me see, in here. Yeah, I do have that top grunge there. And I just want to see, even just above this, if I do an overall dirt with color and roughness, I'm just going to do a quick check here and just see if the dirt generator, I can paint in dirt. I just want to see if the dirt generator gives me anything I like on this, like an overall final. It's going into the corner and making it look a little odd. But I'm going to take this and I'm going to copy this, but I'm also going to bring this layer up to 2K. And I'm going to put on, let's say this is the window frame. I'm going to put on top of here as well. I just want to check it. It's not giving me much of anything. I don't think I'm going to use that. I want to try this wall front and see. It's just giving me sort of in the corners, which is fine. A bit of a shadowy kind of effect. And I'll get a lot of that from ambient occlusion anyhow. Just going to reduce that. I'm going to leave it. And I'll also come over here onto this one. This is the wall door. I might get it in there in the corners anyhow. In the corner. I'll leave it. I don't mind it. Now, that is actually that. Now I've got all these as materials in Blender. And what I'm going to do is, and they're all at 2K, except I don't care about the glass of the window frames. I'm going to export these textures and just show you how I'm setting this up for the moment. I'm going to put that there, and this is going to come to, not there, but textures. I'm going to export all those. I'm going to take all of this stuff here. I'm going to save, first of all. I'm going to copy, and I'm going to bring this into another file that I've been setting up. And I'm going to get rid of that. Control V. And I'm going to put that down there. And I'm going to move these assets around. I'm going to rotate Z90 and have this blocking the door. I've decided I may not do a door, and I may do some planks to block it, but as if, you know, they push this up against, because there's zombies out there in the post-apocalyptic world. And I'll just put that there for now. And I'm just going to move things around here and there. So this is the workbench. I'm not necessarily putting them where they're going to be in the end. I've got a couple of books on here on the teacher's desk. We'll just slide that over, and a student desk we'll just bring in like that. Okay, now if I look at this so far, I've got these things textured, and I don't have the walls. So let's have a look at that. So let's come over here, shading, and I'm going to make sure that I have this as wall door. And now this is a texture, a test texture that I did, and so I'm actually going to delete all that, and I'm going to come in here and look for Textures Classroom. So this is walls, and this is going to be wall door. So I'm going to choose base color to roughness, principal texture setup, and I will get that. Okay. This is wall front, so I'm going to come over to here, walls, wall front, base color to roughness, front. This is wall window or walls window. And I'm going to go base color to roughness. There's that one. Maybe that the dirt came in a little bit strong on that one and not on the other. So we'll have a look at that in a second. This is just window. Walls window. Okay, so we get that in there. And all of this is window glass. And I don't need anything special for that. Window glass. Yeah, we get that. That's fine. All right, it might just be the lighting that's throwing me off of that. Let's go back to layout. Shade, yeah. Okay, yeah, it's just the lighting on this in the HDR. Now, what I think I'll do is let's go back to this one and let's go to layout and let's grab this floor just for the heck of it. Let's just copy that, save, and come in here and paste it in so there's something. Okay, now this is going to be floor. I can temporarily make this like just darken it like that and make it very rough. Just so you can see some ambient occlusion and shadows and stuff. All right, but this is what I'm getting. And I will consider playing around with this, or I may just be fine once there's the other items in here. Another bookshelf up here. In fact, I'll probably take this and let's go ahead and duplicate that. Let's rotate Z -90 and put that in somewhere. We can go ahead now and actually set up a few of these, how they would be. Something like that. This would probably be turned around because of the knobs, and then have a number of desks and stuff all over the place. I've got a chalkboard in there, but if I was to take this just for the fun of it and do another one in there, or maybe let's lean this up against the wall just for the fun of it. Let's take this one, let's rotate this in the X. Let's do this kind of thing and see what that would be like. No, just for now. All right, so this is what we're coming up with, and in the next video we will carry on with more texturing and moving on with the scene. Thanks for watching.